Hi everyone. Hello, how are you doing? I hope you're doing good. So, welcome to another video of control and coordination. We have started this chapter, which is chapter number 9 for Maharashtra board students. In previous video, we were talking about the structure of the neuron. Now, in this video, we will be covering the different types of neuron and the supporting neuroglial cells or the glia cells. What are the different types of the glial cells that surround the neuron and help in their functional activities. So let's begin. Just we will go through the structure of the neuron quickly. So this is the cell body in which there is the nucleus, the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is also known as neuroplasm. Okay. In the neuroplasm, you have the Nissel's granules, which help the rough endoplasmic reticulum for protein synthesis. Nucleus, we are aware of, it governs all the activities of the cell. Okay. Then this is also known as a soma or the cell body. Then you have these dendrites which will be connected to the preceding neuron or any organ or any gland or a muscle. Okay. So dendrites will do what? It will convert the information that is coming in the form of chemical energy. It will convert it into electrical energy. Then this part is known as the axon, and this is the axon terminal. Okay, that is the end of the axon. The axon will conduct or will carry the information, the electrical impulse coming from the cell body. Okay, in this direction, the direction of the conduction. Okay, so neurons can be covered by an insulated material known as myelin sheath, or they are usually made up of they're also known as Schwann cells. Okay, and some neurons will be without this covering. So myelinated and non-myelinated. We saw the significance of this myelinated and non-myelinated. If they have a cover, if the axon has a cover of this myelin sheath of the Schwann cells, then they will conduct the impulse at a faster speed as compared to those which do not have this myelin sheath. Okay. So this was the broader picture of the structure of the neuron, and this axon terminal is connected to another neuron or any muscle or any gland. It can be anything, target organ. Okay. Now, this neuron can be of types. Okay. So depending upon how many axons do they have, how many cell body do they have, they are classified into multipolar, bipolar, and unipolar. Okay, so multipolar means what? There will be one axon, as you see in the picture over here, and two or more dendrons. Here you can see dendrons, 1, 2, 3, more than two. Okay, two or more. So if a neuron is having two or more dendron, then we will call it as a multipolar neurons. Means what? To this dendron, one neuron can be connected to this dendron, another neuron, to this dendron, another neuron. So you see how many neurons can be connected depending upon how many branches of this dendrites are there. So a meshwork, a network of neuron will be formed. Usually multipolar neuron are found. Where do you see these type of neuron? In the cerebral cortex. Okay, that is the outer region of the brain, of the cerebrum. You have the outer cortex and the inner medullary region. Okay, so this is multipolar. Bipolar, one axon and only one dendron. As you see in this picture, okay, one axon and one dendron. You will find this type of neuron in the retina of your eye. Okay, and the lastly is unipolar. You have only one axon. That's it. Okay, you have only one axon, and then you have the cell body. You see the cell body over here. There is no dendron over here. This is the axon and this is the terminal. This type of unipolar neuron will be seen in the embryonic stage when the baby is developing, when the embryo is there in the uterus womb of the mother. Okay, so unipolar, bipolar, and multipolar. Two or more dendrons, multipolar, only one dendron, bipolar, no dendron, unipolar. Okay. All of them are having only one axon. Axon will be one. Okay. Also, depending upon the type of their function, neurons can be motor neuron, sensory neuron, or interneuron. Okay. If the neuron is connected to another neuron, okay, then we call it as a motor neuron. Basically, it is giving it is giving the information in form of some activity. Then we will call it as a motor neuron. For example, some activity like sitting, running, Okay, so that will be motor neuron. Sensory neuron will be mostly unipolar. It will carry information from the sensory organs. Okay, from the sensory organ here, then that type of neuron will be called as sensory neuron. Yes, it will receive the information from the sensory organ and it will process it and it will carry further to the brain. And interneuron is intermediate neuron. So you have one neuron and you have the another neuron, and in between there is one more neuron. So the in between neuron will be known as interneuron. Usually they are multipolar. They will serve as middle neurons for communication of the electrical signal. Okay, so depending on the function and depending upon the structure, you have these types of neuron. Okay, moving forward, this is how the electrical impulse will be transferred from one to the another. So here you see number one neuron, second neuron, third neuron, like that. Okay, so the sensory neuron, let's say from the eye, there is some information or the electrical impulse that is sent to this neuron via dendrites. And the sensory neuron will carry the information. This is a cell body, axon. Then this is connected to neuron number 2. This will be known as the interneuron because it is in between. It is carrying information from the sensory neuron to the motor neuron. So the information that is coming in will be sensed by the sensory neuron. Then just interneuron will serve as a medium of middleman. Okay, it will transfer the information coming from neuron 1 and it will give to neuron 2. And the one which is the effector or the effect of this information that will be seen on the target organ. Okay, that will be known as the motor neuron. It can be either target organ or the information can go to the brain or the spinal cord. So motor neuron. So receiving information sensory, its effect will be passed on by motor neuron. So this is how the loop will look like. Yes. So sensory, interneuron, and then finally motor neuron. So you see the axon of the preceding neuron is connected to the dendron of the the next neuron. Yes. So this is how the neuron loop will look like. Now moving forward, the different types of the glial cells that are present in and around the neurons. Okay, so the first is the ependymal cell, oligodendrocytes, astrocytes, and microglial cells. They are all mostly found in the central nervous system, that is the brain and the spinal cord. These are the type of neuroglial cells you will find associated with neurons, okay, in brain and spinal cord. Whereas you have satellite cells and Schwann cells specifically. In addition to all these, you will find them associated with the peripheral nervous system. Okay, we are going to take this up one by one and just see their function and where are they present. So beginning with the oligodendrocyte, this one, I will just circle it. So we are discussing this oligodendrocyte. This is the neuron. Okay, this is the neuron. Oligodendrocyte is this cell. It is a cell. Cyte means cells. Okay. What are these? These are if you look at the cell, they have branches. Okay. And basically, these oligodendrocytes are the ones which will make the myelin sheath around the axons. So we are saying that neurons, the axon, are having myelin sheath over them, which are proteinic and fatty acidic in nature. So this myelin sheath, which is around the axon, is made by the oligodendrocytes. So they mainly form the myelin sheath around the central axon, okay, which mostly makes up the white matter of the central nervous system. So you must be aware of the white matter and the gray matter, okay. So wherever myelin sheath is present, that will give rise to white matter of the brain, and absence will be the gray matter of the central nervous system. So basically, myelin is the insulating sheath, which is made up of protein and fatty acids. What did we studied about the myelin sheath? That its presence will allow quick transmission of electrical impulse. Okay. Next, moving on to microglia or the brain macrophages. Okay, here, over here. Microglia or the brain macrophage. Okay, we are all aware of the function of the macrophage. They are mostly phagocytic in nature. What do we mean by phagocytic? They will search for any foreign cell, any cell which might be capable of causing disease or infection. So microglia will be or macrophages will be like immune cells. They will try to get hold of them and digest it. Okay, so they are in case of when we are talking about the macrophages present in the brain, so you call them as microglia or brain macrophages. They are small size, few branches. Okay, see, they are derived from monocytes and act as macrophages. Remember, in the previous chapter we have talked about the different types of immune cells under white blood cells. So you have monocytes, lymphocytes, yes, then you have eosinophils, basophils. So it's derived from monocyte, which all act as macrophage. They will do phagocytosis. They will eat up the infected cell. They will eat up the any bacteria or any virus that has gain entry inside the body and trying to cause infections. So they will go to the site of injury, wherever the infection or injury has taken place, or dead neurons, cell debris, all of them they will eat up. They will try to clear the area and just make the area free from any dead neurons or cell debris or any kind of foreign antigen. Okay. They mediate the immune response in the central nervous system. So in the central nervous system, the immune cells are the microglial cells. Star-shaped, as you just see in the picture, most abundant glial cells of the central nervous. Sorry. So this is your microglia. Now moving to the astrocytes. Astral stands for more or less, they look like star-shaped. Okay. So they are star-shaped. Now we are on to astrocyte. They are most abundantly present in the CNS. They have various role in the brain. Okay. They also help in secretion and absorption of the neural transmitter. In the previous video, we will talk about the chemical information getting converted to the electrical information, electrical impulse. So what is that chemical information? Which substances, which molecules? So that is a neural transmitter. So astrocytes will help in the secretion and absorption of the neural transmitter, and they will help in maintaining the blood-brain barrier. There is a barrier between, there are blood vessels also in the brain. There is a vascular connect to the brain, but to a certain extent. So to maintain that barrier, astrocytes will help. Okay. They also help in regulating the transmission of the electrical impulse with the brain. So basically, they all this types of neuroglial cells, directly or indirectly, they are helping the neuron for transmission of electrical impulse. Just like we saw oligodendrocytes and then astrocytes. These are basically the immune cells. Okay, moving to the next type of the neuroglial cells, which are ependymal cells. As you see in the picture over here, they are a single layer squamous type or columnar type. They have cilia. Often they have cilia, which will create some sort of movement or vibration present in the ventricles of the brain. That is the cavity. This we will see when we move to the brain part of the body. What are the ventricles? Basically, there are certain spaces in the brain, cavities in the brain, which are known as ventricles. They are filled with the fluid, cerebrospinal fluid. So there you will find these ependymal cells. Okay, mainly they will do what? They will produce and help in the circulation of CSF. That is a fluid which keeps the brain in good health. We are going to see the function of the cerebrospinal fluid in the coming video. So right now we not go into that topic. Just accept there is this fluid which is present in the cavities of the brain, which will help the functioning of the brain, which will keep the brain in good condition. Okay, so there you will find ependymal cells. Their function is what? Responsible for production of the CSF. They will help in production of the fluid, the cerebrospinal fluid in the ventricles, in the central canal of the spinal cord. Yes, we will be seeing the function of the cerebrospinal fluid, what it is, in the coming videos. Okay. Moving to the next type of the neuroglial cell, the peripheral nervous system, that is the satellite cells and the Schwann cells. So even the Schwann cells are most abundant glial cells of the peripheral nervous system. What do? They produce myelin sheath again. So we saw that oligodendrocytes also form myelin sheath, and Schwann cells are also forming what? Making myelin sheath. But this is mostly responsible in the peripheral nervous system, and this is mostly doing the making of the myelin sheath for the central nervous system, the brain and the spinal cord. Okay, so they will produce myelin sheath around the medulated nerves of the peripheral nervous system. Okay, and then finally the satellite cells, they general function is they support the function of the neurons. Okay, not much details are present regarding the satellite, only this much is present, so we will stick to our discussion up till here only. So these are the types of the cells that will help the neuron to function in proper state. Okay, so that's all for this video. In the next video, we will be talking about the properties of the nerve fibers. Then we will move on to detailed discussion of the what are the synapse, types of synapse, electrical and chemical synapse. Till then, keep revising, make a note of your doubts and reach out to me in case of any difficulty. Take care. See you. Bye.